lights in the distance, the thin line that separates your shadows from my soul. As these walls begin to fold, head lost in the silence, cold stars illuminate the secrets on your tongue and the poison in my lungs. Every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth. Blind eyes in the darkness, frail hands reaching out, sword echoes in the smoke as the doors behind me close. No cure for the madness, each turn tangled in the fear of losing sight of the slowly fading light. Labyrinth. faint lights in the distance, the thin line that separates your shadows from my soul. As these walls begin to fall, head lost in the silence, cold stars illuminate the secrets on your tongue and the poison in my lungs. Where every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth. Blind eyes in the darkness, frail hands reaching out, sword echoes in the smoke as the doors behind me close. No cure for.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Okay.
Right.
We started off like really strong. You know what? Take the reins, Mighty.
Okay, welcome everybody out there. We are back here on EON League. We have the second play day of Swiss stage, and of course, as you see down below in our face cams, I'm Mighty Ryujin, and I'm joined by the awesome Necrosis.
Hey, man. It's been. You know what? It was a rough-ish start, but that's just showing how excited we are for the action that is in store for us. Because that's
Absolutely.
exactly what we need. This energy that is pumping out of us. That we need to understand. Okay, can we see anything about the teams right now? Because I'm so excited to show you guys what the hell we are in for. Some
Yeah.
cards.
I'm
What is in the
pretty sure that
cards?
we have something in store, and I'm more than delighted to be here. And of course, we have two banger best of ones here, and we begin right over
Ooh.
with one of the two teams that we will see in the first match. We have His Majesty's HMSvictory, the team from Great Britain with a total win rate of 86%. Best map so far is Bank, worst is Lair of that sake. I think that will also pretty much declare that this is a map that they will ban out pretty early in the ban phase that we will see later. But for that sake, they won 7-2 last playday against RCG with a 7-2 solid win on Clubhouse. So they've already showcased that they are pretty well good on standardized maps.
Absolutely. And I mean, who the hell likes Slayer anyway, right? So in the end, if it's never going to be picked, why even bother? What I'm looking for is like something like, Cafe or something, some wild card entry when it comes to the maps, which really throws both teams off. I've seen any team for that matter struggling with open maps, and I don't think these two are going to be any different. Yet I will say the more traditional picks like Clubhouse or even like I don't know, even Outback for that matter, could be a big problem. However, as we see Darzy's Little Soldiers, they do have Clubhouse as one of their best maps. I won't put it past them to completely throw the game over there, though, because I've seen that map being a particularly big challenge every time someone's playing attacker, and it's just bad decisions after bad decisions, and you end up snowballing into ruin. But here's hoping there's a more interesting map than the usual.
Yeah, of course. And if you just see in through here, total win rate 76%, Clubhouse best, Consulate worst. Stays a lot of them. 57% is a very low win rate, but it's
Yep.
definitely showcasing also the team is existing longer. They have a lot of more maps in total that have been played and tracked on OPL, but still, we have to say a big counter for them, that the big point that points towards their direction, that they're not the underdog, but potentially also the favorite for this map up. They won their last play day, not 7-2, but 7-1 against Delirium. So even one round better than their opponent. That was on Lair, the map that you said no one likes. I'm pretty sure that Darzy's Little Soldiers feel damn comfortable on that map. But now, we have two teams in the first best of one that we will see today, and I am eager to see which map we will go to. So I think we have a map ban that we can show. All right.
All right.
There we
Oh,
have it.
Night Haven.
Night Haven Labs, very interesting. Also, we see here Clubhouse. Both teams feel damn comfortable on that one. As we mentioned, HMSvictory played it 7-2 on Clubhouse last week. The guys of DARZY's are also very confident on it, so it was the last ban out. So we are playing Night Haven, a pretty big scale map. It's a relatively new map, and I'm very hyped to see what the teams could bring, especially because the meta has changed. I'm just always picking up and saying we have a phase against Fury game where we had a lot of defenses run. Now, on the last major, when we saw Night Haven, every single time it was more aggression, more pressure coming in from the attackers. But it also very often concluded with Night Haven going into the switching meta of having more attacker rounds being taken. And also, that means we have like a more or less 50-50 opening if a team is very good in their attacks. So I'm just pretty damn confident and seeing and very hyped up to see which team can bring some pressure in the attack.
I mean, clearly they're looking for a defensive start themselves. But okay, now that you've mentioned it, what lineup would you go for as an attacker? Like, which is the super meta lineup that you would think that any attacking team on Night Haven will go for?
Like there are many ways to go with it, but you obviously need to have something for the breaches. It will get harder for every single band coming in to open those breaches if a team goes full against breachers. That would also like make a lot of sense because there are many playways and also a lot of strategics building up from these breaches. So I would say something for the breaches. It don't really necessarily have to be a clean hard breach like a Thermite Ace because those are very highly to be banned out quite early on. But else you have a lot of players going with the Maverick or with the Hibana. You can go with other things. But in general, I would say something for the breaches, something to hold flanks like a Gridlock or a I'm missing it for a second for the air jabs into the background. I will not throw in the name. You need something to go with soft destruction. You have a lot of like floor jabs you can use
Ash, Iana, something like that.
Buck, Ram for that sake. And you need, of course, a lot of potential plays with shields. If a team doesn't play Clash in the defense on Night Haven, you have a lot of grounds to play with shields and experiment with shields, and shields are very high effective on Night Haven as long as you have a dedicated shield player in your team.
Well, I don't need any further explanation. Let's go on to the predictions because I think by what you have said initially, like this will being a very attack-heavy thing. I mean, okay. I think everyone except Sirius thinks it's going to be DARZY's game. But, I mean, I'm not going to put it past him. Maybe, maybe it is HMS that can come and surprise us. But at the same time, I feel like, as you said, just attackers, it's just so much responsibility on you not ruining the start you have. And you just have to keep the momentum going. So I have to think that, well, I mean, okay, you know what? Let's see. I'm not going to say anything as of now. My predictions are on the screen. Even yours are, my team. All of us have selected DARZY, except Sirius, of course. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we have a few in our broadcasting team that are always loving a good underdog story. Maybe Sirius picked one of those. Maybe we'll see if the Victory team will pick up their victory in Playday 2, or if DARZY's soldiers will pick up with another big win after their 7-1 strike on the first Playday. But with that being said, we are pretty much cleared out and ready to go into the map of the first game. But before we go into that one, we still have something to talk about. There have been a lot of changes in Siege. We have a lot of attackers now with a secondary full automatic Glock. It's also one of the weapons that you need to have in perspective, especially for Night Haven. I talked about we have a lot of wooden floorage. That also calls for a lot of vertical C4s. One of the biggest impacts, after my opinion, into the defense is one of the operators that have been with us since Pathfinder, since the beta has been open. That is Pulse. Pulse finally now with a full automatic secondary with the Glock. Another big force to be reckoned with. Finally, Pulse is back on the table after my opinions. He is very well playable. You have the shotgun primary and you have a full Glock secondary. He's a pure menace if you want to have him on your team.
Oh, I mean, that was, yes, now that I think about it, absolutely. 3-speed, really good. I mean, he was always okay, but now with that, yeah, it just makes a whole lot of sense. I think any other operators you would like to give a shout out for who are like just standing out because of that automatic block.
I would not call out anyone because I haven't seen someone play it yet, but I'm pretty much going with the first person that will pick out a poll. So if someone of the teams is hearing us, I will pretty much hope that someone will pick it. But let's look at the standings at first. We have had one play to go through, and we have both known that Darcy's and also His Majesty's Victory have both played one match and also won that one out. So they have 3 points to their name. And also the round difference is on 6 and 5. So both on the first and second place. So this is the top man match. And it will also automatically determine who will most likely lead in the first standing position after play to number 2. Even though we have a lot of other teams that will contender to fight that position, but to figure out a way to top a 6-point round differential and play the 2 will be quite some challenge. So I'm pretty sure if Darcy's or His Majesty's Victory pull out a big win here with a huge difference, it will be very hard to go past them.
Well, I think I can't say it any better than that. It's a fight for the first position. You are just one game away from deciding who is better. And I think this could decide if there's a shift in the positions here. But also at the same time, it's being such an important game and being a best of one. You need to understand that the pressure, you can't have second chances. You cannot think, okay, you know what, let's just bugger this game, go to the next one. There is no next one. It's only this one. You only have one chance. That's the only way you do anything here.
You have no saving grace. You have no second chance, as you mentioned. But that also means for the team that is able to pick up their pace, like pick up their strategy at first, putting in and most likely trying to put on their shoe of strategic gameplay onto their opponents, will most likely have the better outcome. So it pretty much is all about being on your foot, being straight ahead with what you're going to do, what's your game plan, and just pretty much try to force your game plan upon the opponent. If you fail to do that and your opponent succeed, you'll automatically have a lot of work you need to put in to come back on this map. You have here 15 rounds potentially of well-known siege on Night Haven that you need to perform the best you can to pull off this win. You have, as you mentioned, best of one. You have 15 rounds, and these 15 rounds, it matters the most that you put your name on the board, because if you don't, you will drop some points, and those points, they might hurt you in the late run.
Oh, absolutely. Because there are going to be other teams who are going to be moving up, moving down. Because there's a lot of movement in the bottom places. I think, right? I mean, there are some teams that are just, I mean, completely, there's a -4, -2, -1. But I mean, Myth Esports, they're moving up. And there's 0. Team Freak Red, if they lose the next game, they may go down a position. Myth win the next game with Voltage. They move up so much that they actually take over Voltage and are right next to Yapper. So there's going to be some radical changes in the brackets very, very soon. And I mean, the top 2 may not be directly affected, but as the league goes on, as the time goes on, it's going to be more and more. Well, it's like a butterfly effect. You never know when it catches up to you, so you have to be careful not to give any games unnecessarily.
Yeah. I will also say we have a second best of 2 later on. We will talk about that a little bit later. But as you said, there will be a lot of movements coming in. We have a lot of teams that will move up and also flow down a few ranks here and there. But that is something to be declared later. I'm pretty sure that we will start into the match as soon as we can. I will definitely say we have a few tech issues, so we are sorry about that. We're pretty much working the hardest we can to get this match up and going as soon as possible. What else? I'm pretty damn well to said. I think we have worked up everything that we have for this match, haven't we?
Oh, I think we have covered every base, except I have some questions of myself because I'm lacking in siege knowledge in general, and I'm always looking to learn. So see, I'm an OG siege player. I love my Thatcher. I love my the freaking season 1 operators. Uh, there's so many. Are any of them still like are popping off right now in this current meta? Because we've come like very far. It's like year 10 at this point, and there are so many operators. But do the old ones still, I mean, stand up to the challenge?
Yeah, they definitely do. And I'm hoping that we might see a Thatcher today. That was a big statement from your end, because Thatcher just previously, before this season, was still in the all base with all the grenades in hand. Now he has his EMP launcher, and that EMP launcher is some badass thing over there. So it's a new gadget that has been evolved, it's been reworked, and it's pretty interesting to see how that new Thatcher tech is working upon the community so far. So also that is a big impact. Now we have an impact from the defender side with Pulse. We also have an impactful new gadget into the attack that we might use and see. But before we see that in the map of Nighthaven, I would say we kick it to a short break and we see you guys back again when we go into the first map. See you there. And as soon as we kick to a break, we're already back again. We have fixed the tech issues. All players back in the lobby. So we are pretty ready in the clear to go into this first map of Nighthaven. So, last words, Nick Roses. What is potentially the big first bans that we will see on Nighthaven? What is your guess?
I mean, I'm going to look for Fender. I always do not want him around the corners. I mean, there's so many corners in this one. Do not want Fender over here. I think I will also get Azami out. I may be out of the meta, but I still think Azami is insane on this map. So these two just popped to my mind instantly. And I mean, as for the attackers, I should think you are taking out Maverick, right? Because Maverick is so insanely good on this map. So you are taking out Maverick. And I mean, maybe Osa? I don't know. Thermite, probably.
Okay, we will see. We are pretty damn sure that we will see a hard breacher or a shield. The first will hit a shield. We have the Monty on the board, or better said, off the board. We also have Bandle Mira. Obviously, very often I'm determined to look into like these operators that you mentioned, a Fenrir, but also like a Nazami, because of all the keybers that you can place on top into that mezzanine area in front of storage, because that makes it a lot more hard to enter those areas and also play within those. But as we see, we have a little bit of a meta change, like also the ban meta changes. We have a little bit more comfort bans, I will say. The guys around His Majesty's Victory are picking out the shields. We have also the Blitz off the board together with the Monty. We on the other side of Darcy's, we have banned out the Tubra. So we are definitely trying to pick out operators that can be used to actively play against breaches and hold them closed up. And as you said, your wish was granted. You talked about Thatcher. You wanted to see if he still can make up in this high-paced game, and you got it. The first round, and we have a Thatcher on the board.
Well, I am excited. I always love that operator, and especially with this new, like, upgraded gadget, I think there's a lot to offer. But what I'm very interested about, I think they're going to switch it up once they see a couple of things, especially, I mean, I understand that you want to pick something that goes for a lot of aggression, especially against a lineup like this. But I mean, so much aversion to shields, I have to say, is that a bit unfounded? Like, fine, you banned a Monty, but was a blitz necessary? Are DLS that good on shields that you are just banning them out?
I'm not quite sure about it, but we'll just have to wait and see what this teams can bring, and like if that may be or maybe not an impact. But First on the starting end, we have some players trying to get attached, trying to come a little bit into the map. We also have the first defending hold position that are very aggressive, roaming a lot around here. We have like 4 guys off the spot. We are in basement, as I've seen so far, but we are definitely not only defending basement, we're having a full extended hold into the second top floor. That means we will play as extended as we potentially can.
And the breach is already through. There's nothing to stop it, really. And okay, there is a vision right there. He's waiting. Will he find something here? I think he's just waiting around the corner. I think there is so much to be done here. Just one breach, and that opens up so many opportunities. I don't know how they. I mean, they had no way to really stop it, but there has to be some way to neutralize the drones. The Solace needs to be on drone duty completely. And at the same time, as I say it, I mean, the Dokkaebi just finds that Solace, and that's not a good start. And so does the Vigil. He just goes down. He's just peeking very, very weirdly, and he just gets shot in the head. And now there are 3 people remaining on HMS. And yeah, it's a Goyo. Yeah, you have used. I mean, you're all used up. Okay, the Demos goes down. That's a finish. And the castle has traded quite a lot of health for that. But there will be more fights going on. There is a RAM, so there has to be some vertical control that could be possibly done. And yeah, while the bomb is downstairs, you have to be understanding that there are many other places to check, especially like this particular corner. Yes, okay, lounge, not really super easy to breach. And he sees something. He knows, I think he heard it. So that's been pinged out. There's going to be more corners to be left, but yeah, that's not going to work. The Goyo goes down, but again, Goyo with your pouches out, you're not going to be like, fine, you've done your job. 4 versus 2, and especially one very, very weak castle, which a strong gust of air would kill. This does not look good. I mean, that Warden is not in a great position himself. I don't know, Mighty. This looks like a round for DLS.
Yeah, it pretty much looks like it, but the Warden, as you mentioned, he has the position to take on a saving grade and gets Fritzy of the bomb, but Iroh on the bomb spot into the vertical will get down and killed together in the combination with Cap, Coffin, and that way we have Heavens alone against 3 players. He will try to approach, but as well, we will be caught off guard by Cap, and that way we have the first one on the board for DLS.
I mean, it was just, they got that one breach. I feel giving that one breach away so easily, and the Vigil dying there was a huge, huge misplay. And I mean, that cost them so dearly. Instantly, 3 people down. Your castle had to trade so badly. And I mean, it just doesn't help, especially at the start. And I mean, you have a Dokkaebi on the other team. It's going to be extra information going their way. Once you get a bloody phone, it's going to be all cameras in, and you're just exposed. So yeah, you have to be a bit careful this time around.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to be a little bit more careful. You need to watch your 6, especially that you don't get those back flanks firing upon you, because that is also another big impact scenario here on the map of Nighthaven. You have a lot of staircase, you have a lot of potential ways to roam around, like set up a second flank, or like maybe try to take a retake on a later approach. Also there, I can of some sort understand why Warden is falling back after he gets his first kill, trying to help his teammate. But after that teammate dies, I would pretty much rather try to play up on top in the first floor, just to maybe have the advantage of taking this into a like vertical position. Yes, of course, you have 2 opponents in the first floor. That is something that you don't know per se by the Warden. But in my opinion, it would make a lot of more sense trying to play the first floor, gain another kill, then on a very late approach, drop down into the basement if you're unsure if there's another one. Or you can, by that, say, also gamble upon it and say, okay, I'll play vertical. Because if you have a nice, decent set of headphones, you can play very good vertically on this map. And this will take a lot of things off the board, because you don't have direct stress. You can play onto the planter. And if the plant carrier is not completely willingly to position himself in a vulnerable space, you can pretty much force him to.
Oh, I completely agree with that. I always believe that vertical control, especially when like the RAM hadn't even opened anything up. You have all the time in the world, and once it did open up, you have to have some sort of vertical control to secure that bomb site. And you just can't go into the basement unless you're like sitting ducks. You just get shot over there, and especially when you're alone, you're gonna get cornered eventually. So I mean, it's just a very precarious position. And speaking of precarious positions, the Grim. I like this pickup. I mean, I like both sides, especially the Azami and the Fenrir, both picked up by HMS. They're really going on control. They want to keep this one place so sequestered that they want nothing, no leaks this time, no unnecessary deaths. Yes, DLS can fish as much as they want, but no one's going to take the bait. As I say
Dustin.
that, Dustin, he gets one more, and Fitzy just goes down. That ace, he has jumped in, and maybe are there more kills here? Right inside the IT room, and this was precarious by Fitzy. I mean, that was obviously very, very daring for him to go in, but I mean, he needs to do that. At the same time, as I say that, Alfred gets one, Coffee goes down, and that's the breacher down. So that really impairs their capabilities. Now, all you have is a Buck, a Grim, and a Thatcher. And I don't think you have any way to breach any more hard walls. So you can really well be turtled up and not have so like you can just chill. And that's what happens. Why, as I was saying, this Vigil and the Mute, they go down. They're back to 3v3. And this time, Mighty, I feel while the caster's curse is something I don't necessarily believe in, but I don't know, it just comes pops out sometime or the other.
I'm totally a believer of the caster cursing because me and Dianic have like a fortune, like has a complete renaissance of a history path behind that. But as we mentioned, again, we have an approach from the attackers, the opponents into the defense in the names of His Majesty's ships. Victory are playing against it, try to hold back as good as they can. Also, cheeky position there by Coffee, trying to figure out a way of getting a pig onto the ban, and it gets a pig on Iron, gets the first kill done. Rosie on that way, also a few bullets impacting there, and we have Milk Chocolate trying to play against, and that is, of course, a game crash, as we see. And now it's the big question: who did win the first? Who did win the second round? We don't know yet. We don't know, but it was definitely a close one. 1v1, both very low on HP. A plan that potentially is about to go down and get to be fulfilled. The question is, do we have a 2-0 standing after the second round, or will the standings be 1-1? What is your guess?
I think the guy planting the diffuser got shot in the head. I think that's what happened there.
Good,
and I think
good,
they
good
lost the
guess.
round.
I'm saying we have a good plant. We have a post plant scenario. We have a Azami trying to play in on the post plant, using the last of her keepers, getting a good potential spot. But on the other end, we have the guy in the name of Coffee just flicking out one of the best headshots that we have ever seen and making it a 2-0 standing.
Okay, that's okay. I'm just gonna say they drop the diffuser, the other guy dies too, and it's a win for the defense.
Okay, so we have two different opinions. We are pretty much in hype to see what happens. We are trying to get back as soon as we can, but I don't know how long that will take. We have not seen so much that we can talk about it yet. We have seen one first round where we had a lot of pace, a lot of aggression coming in by the attackers, not leaving any given space for the defenders. The defenders had to move a lot, had to move a lot around themselves to figure out ways to find a flank, find a good position to fight back. Every single time they tried to fight back, they got smacked in the head because the attackers were like approaching in like a firm position where they had multiple teammates, like both helping out each other and also in a position where they can refrag themselves if that really has to be the case. So you were pretty much outmanned in the first round. You were pushed off your positions into a position where you don't feel that comfortable, where you have the disadvantages, especially from the position that you can be peaked from multiple angles. That was the first round down and dealt with. The second round here, we see a lot of more like focus into the defense. You see the cheeky position by Duncan into a very undrone position where he's undetected. He can play very smoothly, very focused, and also in a very calm manner. He's not seen by Fritzy. Fritzy just trying to figure out where's the sound coming from. Someone is close by me. Duncan stands up, gets the kill done. That's the first approach, and also the entry frag for his team in that round. Very quickly after, we have a refrag from the other end, and then the round completely turns. You see that the guys of DLS picking up pace, picking up advantages, picking up cheeky peaks, but also not singular peaks. They're peeking from two different positions onto the same opponent, getting one kill, getting two, getting three kills, having an advantage. But then, once again, you see, okay, HMSC are seeing, okay, we are falling down. When we are ego peeking against the guys of DLS, they have an advantage because they're peeking with multiple players at one of our guys simultaneously. With that being said, they pull back, play a little bit more defense, are not over peeking, they're not ego peeking against. They try to hold their crosses, try to play a little bit more over sound, over communication. And as soon as that happens, you also have yet again another perspective where you then force the attackers to move into your bomb site, make noise, come in closer. And if you are in a good position that we had with a bandit, you can peek out in the right moment. He tried to when Coffee was pointing away from him, focusing on the Azami. But even though Coffee is faster on the flick onto the head of Bandit, even though that scenario, I'm having to say, in 70% of the rounds, Bandit should have gotten that kill for good.
Oh, I agree. I agree. That I mean, there are so many places I feel like, especially in this round, I really thought the defense had like a very good hold on the game. It just they knew what to do. They picked the right operators. They were holding the right positions. And I mean, when Ace went down in the first half, I was like, okay, you know what? They've got the first breacher. All they have to do is get the second one. Is going to be fine. And they did get the second one. I mean, the Thermite went down very, very fast after that. But for some reason, as you said, just unnecessarily eagle peeking someone, it's just super, super risky. And well, as I mean, the eye in the sky and the voice in the sky has told us that there's going to be a rehost. Actually, we're going to be back into the game very, very soon. But until then, we have to take a break. We'll be with you guys very, very shortly. But I mean, stay tuned. It's going to be an action-packed one, as you can already see.
separates your shadows from my soul as these walls begin to fold. Head lost in the silence, cold stars illuminate the secrets on your tongue and the poison in my lungs. Where every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth. Blind eyes in the darkness, frail hands reaching out, sword echoes in the smoke as the doors behind me close. No cure for the madness, each turn tangled in the fear of losing sight.
And we are back with a 2-0 standing. So I picked the Grays and I said the guys of DLS will take another big round win with a potential post-plan scenario. I don't know if it was a post-plan scenario, if it even was before the plan went down, but it is a 2-0. We have had a rehost. That means we have still 4 rounds yet to go in the defense lines of His Majesty's ships team Victory. And by that, now or never, more than ever, it feels like what I mentioned. Attacking rounds on Nighthaven have switched the meta. We went on Nighthaven from being completely defender-sided to having the possibilities to opening up more cautionally for attacking teams to put out wins here, put out numbers on the scoreboards. And we have seen DLS put it out 2 times now. One was quite clear. The other one was more on an eager level with both teams. And by that being said, now it counts more than ever for the guys around HMS to now put up their pace, get in their heads, and just say, okay, we need to get our game plan on the board. We just need to play around what DLS are trying to do. We try to destroy their game flow, like their position. And with that being said, Rose picks out a big first opening kill against Milk Chocolate.
Okay, getting the Thatcher first, that's a very, very strong start. Although I would really want HMS to be a bit more careful with the visual, because if the visual dies first, it really cuts down their roaming capabilities on the defense, especially when you have so many turtlers and we're just sitting in one position. You need someone just running around. I mean, there's going to be a bandit, yes, but you'll obviously appreciate a visual too. Both of them creating the pressure, not letting the attackers really get easy corners and everything. It's just going to be so much more advantageous for them. So I hope they just don't go down. Okay, that's it. Okay, be ping. Okay, Ira walks into a jammer. That's an entry. And okay, he's looking for something, fishing, but he's not going to be seeing that visual. Oh, he sees the shots there. So there's possibly what a peek by the visual. He gets him, and there's more. Cafe also goes down. 3 people on the side of DLS down. Maybe this is finally it. Maybe HMS finally gets a round on the table. Or does Coffee really? Okay, that's a Fender pop. And that's going to be one more. Coffee, 1 versus 5. He is going to try his best, or die in the first go. He's sitting in a jammer, not going to be able to be using anything really. And yeah, just try to break whatever you can, make some noise, get a kill somewhere here and there. But I think this round has been chalked up to a 2-1.
It most likely will have been chalked up into a 2-1, but that also means we have yet another big, like some sort of time. You have 1 minute potentially to just talk things through, have your comms chilled in, and that also means you can like pretty much focus upon the 4th round before it has even begun. And this, after I mention it, now it counts for the teams around HMS to put on round wins, to get on the scoreboards, and they're delivering. They have 4 opening frags, and it's pretty much if it will be a flawless or not, and it will not be a flawless as Rosie will get killed, but then afterwards he will have a refrag to a 2-1 scenario into the 2-1 scoreline after 3 rounds. And now we're in the 4th round. We have the next or last piece of sets of bans coming
Touches out
in the first half. And we have a Dokebi and an Azami. Azami, very understandable as I talked about it. All the Keeper Berries on side, on top mezzanine, over to storage. Same also counts in for the Dokebi. Dokebi and operator that automatically forces you in the defense to move a little bit more around, get out of your like comfortable positions, because else you might be spotted out, you might be positioned out, and that way you can also be played against in a vertical, because it's a very highlighted sound with the Dokebi calls coming in, and these are cheeky gadgets to be put out there, especially when you cross them over with, like, for example, a Blitz, a Deimos, and we have a Deimos on the board. So we're just taking away these deadly combos of double pinging out where like roamers and our, I would say, lurking positioning players in the defense are moving around from. That also takes away a lot of room for the defenders to now play in a comfortable manner, because you won't be spotted out that easily by sound.
Well, I love that they picked up a Melusi right now. There's so many annoying infiltrators on the other side. It's just like, one Melusi can really change the game. They've replaced effectively the Fenrir with the Melusi, and I think that's a better choice. Maybe the playstyle also, and especially the gun, like that shotgun, really so effective in this close quarters that Nighthaven provides. And they have the plant right where they need it. I think this is a strong draft by HMS. The ban was also very important. The Dokebi getting kicked out, I think that's going to change the game quite a bit. But while I say that, there's a sledge, and when there's a sledge, nothing predictable is going to happen. I think it's going to be probably a very fast pick-off on one side, or it's going to be HMS getting 2 free kills. But let's see. They're not going to be hasty about it. Just moving a bit ahead, they see the breach, and okay, Thatcher, he's ready. The bandit charge is gonna get disabled. Thermite puts in the sheet. He's gonna trigger it, and okay, one more trigger. Oh, bandit, he's really trying very hard to do something about it, but okay, he just gets damaged for half of his health. He's gonna run away a bit. He's gonna lick his wounds, and okay, the Melusi has been pinged. A lot of action going on, and already I feel DLS is ramping up the tempo. The first 2 rounds, I don't think they were playing this fast. This time, they're really making an effort to not waste any time breaching. And breach, move in, try to get a pick off. And they're not... Okay, as I say, Fitzy goes down, Duskin. Again, this guy, for the last round and this one, he has taken the opening frags, and he has opened up the game for his team. And, he is the reason I think they got the clean, almost flawless victory in the last round. But, okay, as I say that, Roll, okay, that's one more.
Rollo trying to sneak up there on the way into Heavens, but Heavens on the spot, ready with his headset on the ears, putting a sound cue where it has to be, and swings around from the other end of the boxes, getting that kill on the board. With that being said, we have a double potential lead up in the name of manpower, but Kothane can get Aero, and that is shortening down the advantage on a 3 against 5 scenario into a 3 against 4. Still having a minute left remaining. It looks like that Coffee alone is trying to put out the average play into the second top floor. Meanwhile, now we have gained that control, and now we have 1 minute to play down towards the bomb site. We have 1 more floor to cover. We will gain a little bit access into the verticals. We will trap out a few of the positions with the beehives here from the Grim, trying to get some intel gain into where these players are located at. But there will be a hard one for DLS, because only 40 seconds remain. Will also mean now we will try to move up into the second space, and that also tries Alfred into the combination with his teammate of Dusklin, getting the kill into Milk Truck. So again, we have put it out into a 4 against 2 scenario, and the guys of HMS will potentially split it up and make it an even 2 against 2 scoreline, especially now after 17 seconds remaining. Diffusers drop. We have a few cast barricades in our way, so there's like no more movement given to Coffee. Coffee jumps in through the window and will be trapped out by Dusklin.
They locked it down better than COVID, actually. I really like the way they did it. Not one single leak. Every single place checked, every single breach countered, and I think it's not just the operators. It's the fact that Alro and, Duskin, they just know, they pay attention to the sound cues and they act on them. There's so much information that usually goes wasted, but these guys do not let any of it go to waste. They're so efficient with it. Even with the open windows and complete, I mean, there's a whole breach over there by Thermite, but that didn't stop them. And this time there was Solace. So even more drone control. They're going to be turtled up. It's going to be basement this time. And yeah, it's just going to be turtle galore. So they will have a RAM, I think. Yes, Rolo has taken the RAM. And while there is a RAM, I don't know if they will double down on the vertical control, because I have seen both these teams not really paying attention to vertical control that much. But if this visual is alive, maybe they can do something about it as defenders.
Okay, pretty easily informed what DLS is about to do here. DLS with the Termite and Thatcher control will will play the outside breaches. Meanwhile, we will have the Buck up on top together with Rolo roaming into the second top floor, cleaning top floor, going into the first floor, then going into the verticals, opening the hatches. Meanwhile, we also have Coffee that will get some operators in the opponent team of the defenders pinged out to play a little bit vertical, but the Deimos trying to hunt out these Romans, making it more comfortable to move around for Fitzy and Rolo to then play downwards into the basement. And here, pretty much, once again, it's all about timing. You need to figure out a way to be effective for 3 minutes, gaining all 3 spots, clearing out Romers to then pull off your play into the basement. Meanwhile, also, Coffee has 3 charges now on the Thermite. So we have have the third essential breach that can be open potentially, and that will be the IT breach. Just also here, once more, Alfred being less and less comfortable in his positions. He'll be spotted out earlier. He has more ways that he will need to double check, angles that he will check up if he's about to run through them, or else he might be caught off guard. And that's one of the things that he definitely needs to look into and have on his hat, because else that will cost him dearly.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's everything is, I mean, it's always hinging on Alfred. He does that. He just counters the pressure so well. And as I say it, I mean, Coffee, he goes down first, and Duskin, he has been on point with those. He has been one of the, opening fraggers along with Alfred. They just start the game off. And yeah, now you have no breacher. Your ram's getting peppered a bit. You have to be a bit careful. And if the ram goes down, you're lacking on vertical pressure so much. And okay, Demos, that is in general pressure going down. Every single operator on the side of DLS going down is going to count for so much exponentially. And yeah, I mean, right now the RAM is not achieving much. First floor is not the place that he needs to be really cooped up on. I think he has no other choice. Anywhere he moves, he does not have any information. I mean, it's just going to be so difficult. Even the Buck trying to get something done, but if Ram and Buck are on the same floor on 2 different sides, it's not going to be that effective. And I mean, it's just the Thatcher now with them. There's no breacher. There's no control through Demos. It's going to be so difficult. Unless HMS just throw their bodies in the line of fire, there's going to be no way that, I mean, they should lose this round, right?
Yeah, there's definitely no room for them to lose this game, especially because they've gained a lot of this time. No matter, but Milkshot has something against that. Killing is on Alfred, but Duskin with a quick refrag to his name on a 6-0 after the rehost so far. That's definitely a man to have in mind to be one of the biggest MVPs of this series so far. But as you see, 19 seconds left. Fritzy just recovered the diffuser. He's still trying to play vertical, but he is in the need of figuring out a way to get down into the basement, because he has a diffuser. He will be caught off guard by Duskin, and Duskin gets an ace for that round. So we have a lead for HMS going in. Duskin with a huge play picks out the first one into another opening on the guy in DLS. It's still uncomfortable. It's the guy himself. It's Fitzy once again into the opening kill. Then you figure out another big double kill coming in. And then on the very end, you have yet again a double kill to close out this round, making an awesome ace played here. And by that being said, that's some clip to take into your archive. What a well-played round by Duskin, just pretty much clearing out their opponents all by himself, winning that round, and not only winning it out, but also taking the lead all by himself for his team. So first round now for HMS. In round number 6, where they're in the lead themselves.
They picked a clash. Oh my god.
And we picked the clash. Interesting. I talked about the clash. We're in top floor. Clash is one of the most impactable operators on this top floor. We saw it in Munich on the major. A lot of teams have begun to play clash in this top floor because you can pretty much lock down so many good positions, but also the stationary shield. If you're alone, you can just put it in front of you, have full vision of your opponent, and you can just swing in. If you have good momentum and you know how to play Clash, it's definitely another big force in the defense to be reckoned with, especially for this top floor where you can lock down multiple positions. If you don't get opened up with the breaches and the doorways, you can clear them out and hold them up close as long as you can. You can potentially have a big stronghold position with that shield.
I mean, yeah, it is an intimidating operator, and especially in the hands of Duskin. 8-0, by the way. That score does not lie. He is truly showing MVP, the makings of an MVP. And a beautiful snipe. The Twitch really getting things done. And that's pretty sloppy on the side of HMS, letting him get that gadget over there. That drone should not be going out. I hope it's picked off. I think it was picked off. But yeah, I mean, Duskin, as Clash, you need to... this guy is going to be hard to take down, so you just ignore him. And you can also, as a Clash, you can always give electrotherapy to people and, make them deal with their problems a bit better. Okay, so many gadgets just going down. They need to be in a better corners, I guess, and ready to take more kills. I think HMS this time has just shifted the draft completely. And, I mean, they're looking very tight, but with the Jaeger and the Clash, at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm not feeling this draft necessarily. And especially on the other side, there's a Blackbeard. Now I'm like, this could potentially be something.
I will have to say that I think the play here by DLS is a little bit sloppy in that sake, because Rosie is in a trap position on top mezzanine. There's no way that he can be picked out there. And once again, he takes another kill onto Milk Chocolate. Duskin picks up Cap Colfane, and that means we have a triple over roll here. We have a triple opening frag. That means we have a big advantage for the guys of HMS, and that will most likely convince and turn this game into a 4-2 half. Coffee now pushing in from the end, getting Duskin to play against it. That shield will be robbed away, and by that we just need to wait for which defender to pull him down to the ground. We have him down, Coffee down remaining, and that's Rolo against 5, and this is a flawless. We go from an ace round into a flawless round, and we just see how HMS are picking DLS apart every single round now so far. 0-2 into rehost. HMS not feeling well whatsoever, turning it into a 4-2 first half. And I will have to take back what I said with attacking teams putting up rounds on Nighthaven. I surely got a very rapid answer by HMS saying, no. Defense is king, and we will show you. But now, hopefully for them, they can also continue their streak, continue their momentum in their own attacks. Because else, this game could also quickly be turned the tide, and we will have it equal quite early on if DLS finally capitalize on their chances once again. Because the gameplay of DLS isn't bad for that sake, but I'm missing the lack of team play. As I mentioned with Rosie, trapped in a corner. He can't recover back on side. You have opened IT. You have opened the main door on top of mezzanine. You have the window on mezzanine. Imagine if you have termite close on the door. You jump in with Blackbeard on the window on top mezzanine. You just move in from IT. Either way, Rosie will go. He has 2 positions that will aim him off and swing him in. There's no grounds being taken that you swing him alone and die to Rosie. That was the most sloppiest execution I've seen in a while, and I pretty hope for DLS that they will figure out these problems and find a way to capitalize on those chances, because that, I have to say on that sake, is more or less 100% free kill.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's taking the right engagement. As you said, there's a lack of team play. They have the right game plan, but the execution seems to be lacking every single time. But while I say that, DLS, they have the Tubarao open this time. They do not. It's a very valuable operator to have against breachers, and especially on Nighthaven when there's constantly people poking holes in places. So you have a Mira, you have a Tubarao. This is going to be okay. This is a solid lineup: Azami, Mira, Tubarao, Aruni, and also Fenrir. There's so much control on your side. It would behoove you to really give it away on the other hand. And you have like Nomad, you have like so many aggressive operators, Nomad, Ash, Flores. You're just going to be bashing in. So it's going to be like a very aggressive versus a very defensive kind of lineup. And I think it's, again, execution based. And speaking of Rolo, he gets Duskin. This time, not that lucky. First death on the board for Duskin. And okay, that's the ace down. Rolo, he is very weak. a very very light gust of wind may kill him, and that gust of wind could be yeah, was okay. Heaven just poking around, looking for something, not really finding anything. But again, if if HMS keeps this momentum going, I think they could just take a couple of attack rounds. Fair and square.
Good opening, especially so far. As you mentioned, Duskin down and off the boards for this first round is an immense opening frag for the guys for DLS. And also the other shadow that we see here, yet again, another Fenrir on the board with his traps. Make it very uncomfortable to move closer and approach the spot, especially over connector. But as we see, no given defender to play that against an aggressive meta. You leave HMS a lot of space. And if you leave your opponent a lot of space for this top floor side, you will very often get in problem scenarios when we get into the last remaining 30-second section. But Coffee picks up yet again another kill after that's both of the two top fraggers nearly down. It's only Rose here with a big potential impact. He is trying to lurk upon a good position to sneak up here, but Milk Chocolate gets Iro, Coffee gets Haven, and Rollo gets the last kill, and that is yet another flawless. We have a flawless answer onto a flawless round, and that means by no means necessary this match is not over. DLS will force upon yet another round. Back on the scoreboard, first round on the scoreboard here for them after the rehost. They are definitely back, and now they just need to continue their approach in their own defense. They definitely have it in them.
Okay, Mighty, I don't know. Maybe the meta hasn't changed that much. Maybe defense is still king, especially on Nighthaven, because
I said cast the curse.
Probably. But you know what? Don't sell yourself that short. I think HMS are just figuring it out. It was their first round on attack. They have some stuff to figure out. DLS first round on defense. Everyone's figuring out their moves in the first initial rounds. I think the game will truly turn on the second ban phase. That is when this game is going to turn, and I'm promising you that, because as of now, every single pick off that HMS has done, they have the Dokebi this time, right? Dokebi, Deimos, it's going to be so much control. Like they're really doubling down on this idea that, okay, you're just going super hard on one style of play. If you mess up that execution, that's going to be a problem. And that's just going to completely ruin the whole momentum of the game. But we've seen HMS do the same thing on defense and succeed violently. So I think it's just a matter of figuring it out. Maybe this round, but the next round, they will activate themselves.
They will definitely try to do so. And by that being said, we are going in, we are approaching, and we have Coffee with the first opening frag, but it will get refragged very early on by Heavens as he spots out that punch by Rollo. Very cheeky angle in that per se, but that means also the Virgil of the board very early and very frankly on that round, very unpleasurable, but also Coffee will get sneaked up, and Heavens finds yet another kill to make two kills on his name for this round. Huge opening for HMS on that sake, with a first now coming in. Approach coming up. HMS looking a little bit better now in this second run in their own attacks, figuring out another way to get an advantage. And also Heavens with another one, goes for the triple, goes for the quad kill, and that means it's Cap Colfane against Heavens, the mighty force he has become for this round. It is only yet another round where HMS can pretty much declare their power position and where they can put their opponents where they want them to be. Now it's the big question: will it be Heavens or will it be Duskin to put out and yet another big push? We drop from below, and it is another ace. We have had an ace by Duskin. We have an ace by Heavens, and what a play it is. Heavens not playing around. He's definitely saying we will have a broad switch. We will have an early evening for this match, and I will take the lead if you let me. And Heavens definitely not taking invites for granted. He will just take them out of the way before they even got delivered.
I mean, they're 1 point away from match point, HMS. They are really putting the pedal to the metal, so to say. And I mean, that ram just made way too much noise and everyone got distracted. And I mean, that was just so effective. People getting picked off everywhere. And yeah, again, it's just, you have to have that visual in that zone, man. I mean, you can't let that visual not have control. It is so, we've seen that on both sides. The visual goes down, the team falls apart. It's as simple as that. Unless you get some lucky refrags or something, it's going to harm you so badly. And Tubarao, I mean, are you really playing against that many breaches? These guys are just going on full control. There's like Demos and Dokebi. They don't care about breaching. They just walk in. So I mean, do you really need a Tubarao, or do you need to plug up holes? Would you rather have some counter intel on your hand? Would you rather have a pulse? Because I haven't seen a pulse, man. You mentioned a pulse. I haven't seen a pulse once.
I'm pretty sure that we are a little bit more lacking of being able to adapt up a little bit on the gameplay here. Of course, it was a very, I would say a lucky type of round. Meanwhile, Alfred puts out another opening kill here against Fitzy. Fitzy 0-6, not feeling well at all after this rehost. Yet another disadvantage for the guys of DLS. But as you said, there are a lot of things coming in. We are definitely lacking on the adaptive way of playing Siege in the competitive meta. We're not working, we're not adapting, we're not like changing things to be more fitting onto the approach that our opponents are giving us or like how they want to play. We're just holding our strat book, being a little bit more, I would say, some type of stiff on our own strategy book and have to say, okay, that's the plan that we got. We will stick to the plan, either it works or not. And that may work, but it may also not work. And it's like, it's only the third round, so I will always say you can get another big impact into the match if you just try to take a second try, or like also figure out a way to just adapt a little bit on who is in which position. You can stick to your operators, you can stick to your strapper, but also you can try to have a second chance. If the second approach doesn't work on the same spot with the same lineup, you definitely need to change something. And here you see already here, Fitzy tries to go aggressive very early on in the round because it worked in the first defending round for them. It didn't work in the second defending round. So why are we doing a very aggressive peak in the third round? It doesn't really make sense. And also here, the team play, we see Iroh and also Rose moving in on Rollo, trying to push him out with a very aggressive. Also, offer comes from the other side. So we have 3 guys against 1, 3-on-1 scenario that also declares the outcome pretty much automatically. So we have a double advantage in name of manpower for HMS.
I mean, okay, I like just 2 things pop to my head right now. Like, as a visual, how do you get cornered? That's one. That's a glaring point in my head. You never get cornered as a visual. But more than that, I think, as you said, being adaptive, being just malleable to this. Just look at Duskin is just going crazy. 2 headshots. He's getting coffee and cafe and everybody. It's another flawless round for HMS. And as I was saying, Mighty, this becomes like a kind of a caricature. But then it happens again. But it's it's fine. Okay, it didn't crash. Okay, I thought it was. But as I say it, they're on match point. It's bloody one more ban phase. I'm pretty sure that Dokebi is going to get kicked out this time. And as I say this, I was wondering if DLS can just get a bit more aggressive. Yes, Fitzy has tried to peek. But how about you have double peek on opening frag? You're losing one guy anyway. Fitzy is not having the best of the game. So if he dies anyway, it's not going to be a problem. If by an off chance you get one on HMS's side, that could be an advantage you're looking for. It's not like defensive play is really serving a purpose here, because it's not really helping you as it is mowing you down. There's too much control on their side, and you can't seem to catch up to it. So might as well be aggressive, push your X out and try to aim battle that.
I'm a little bit taking on another approach. As we see, every single time DLS now tries to play very aggressive in the second and third round of their own defense, it did not work in any given scenario. Every single time when they tried to be a little bit more aggressive, be straight up, like try to be in your face on that matter against HMS, HMS just pretty much declares their, I would say, on that choice, their overpowerment. They are always doing 2-on-1, 3-on-1 guys. So they're like pretty much droning out, figuring out where's the roamer at, where's the next like opponent from us in the near corner, and we will just try to suppress his position into the smallest area possible, try and angle him out from multiple positions, have one of the angles play a little bit more aggressive than the other one. One is holding passive, 2 guys are trying to push him aggressive. Either way, he will get, if he get 1 kill, we will clear him out with a refrag, or we will clear him out because he is trying to bail out of the position because he knows he has the underscore card with playing a 2v1 scenario, and then he will run in the hands of the third guy holding the flank. So DLS should see their position and saying, okay, I will bail out on my position a little bit earlier, try to fall back in fight yet another later time, because every single time they try to be aggressive and front up, it doesn't work. So they need to change their way of playing this map so far, especially now. 6-3 scoreline means HMS are on the match point. There are no more given grounds to make any type of fails, because if you do any missteps now, it will most likely cost you the round, and not only the round, but that means also the map. And yet, map lost will mean or declare yet another 3 points that it will not go onto your account.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, still doesn't mean you should lose a game, I guess. But I don't think I don't know. They've lost so much momentum, and especially this happens. I've seen this happen so many times in BO1s. The feeling of just finality, it just sets in on you. The utter certainty of defeat. It's so dangerously evident. Oh my God, this is brutal. Oh God, this is not murder over there. I mean, Fitzy, he lost. I think he has a sliver of health, barely holding on. Rollo himself is almost a sliver of health. He's just trying to make something happen. He is downed, not killed, so he could be picked up. And there's a ping indicator. There's a lot of people getting pinged out. But I mean, such a start from HMS, such crazy amounts of pressure just coming out on the same moment. Oh, and now this Finca boost. Just rush in, guys. Just finish this up. And the Blitz, he's looking for something. Blitz is carrying a diffuser. He's going to eventually make it to Warden. Melchior gets picked off. Rosie, again, this guy. I mean, Rollo and Fitzy are all in positions where they cannot possibly do anything. But Rollo, he just gets one. He does get Iro. He was picked up, by the way. He didn't have much health, but I mean, Coffin goes down. Fitzy goes down. And that's about it. I think this is going to be a wrap. Rollo just getting peppered. And my God, was this aggressive, Mighty. It was horrible
absolutely
to watch.
But best example, I talked about it in the earlier round where DLS had the opportunity to just potentially, Rose was in a bad position on top mezzanine in a 90 corner. He was no way to go back into IT. He had no way to cross IT door going into the front door from mezzanine outside. He doesn't have any way to bail back on the mezzanine, drop it down to storage because there was a window. No one played him. No one tried to get him out in a combo way of team play. Here we have the complete opposite side. HMS sees the potential, say, okay, the Azami is in the same 90 corner. He has no way to rotate back on side. He has no way to cross IT because IT is open, and we have two guys inside IT. Okay, what do? We have one guy from the mezzanine door from outside, peeking him in, making a lot of distress. Meanwhile, we have a Blitz jumping in or coming from the staircase for all the way from the back end of mezzanine, pushing towards the Azami. And that means Azami is cornered by three sides. She just pretty much tried to concentrate on one of the three opponents that she got. As soon as she pops one of her bullets, you have two other teammates playing it in, making a lot of pressure, making her feel unsafe, kill her out. And then after that, you have gained access from mezzanine, you have gained IT. We then have a play from the end of connector. You get another kill from connector. Then you push in from waterfall. You get another kill from waterfall. You just pretty much suppress every single angle that the defending team can use to bail out and drop away, get a second flank. You just don't give them any chance to bail away from their spot. You suppress them down to their spot. You would know for that sake where the last one was. Rollo with the Jaeger into that small connector of electrical. And what happens? You have a Blitz alive. You have a Fink alive. What happens? You get a boost. You send a Blitz in. You push after the Jaeger, suppress the position, get the kill done after one more teammate helps out the Blitz over the window. They're no given grounds for HMS to throw that round away, and DLS are definitely not looking good. They looked good before and priorly to the rehost, but after the rehost, it was just pure chaos for them. I don't know what happened, but DLS lost a lot of the pace, lost all their focus, had many cheeky plays that did not work out for them. They had very extremely hard times to just figure out a way to answer back, find ways how it works for them to play against HMS. And HMS, they just did what they did best. They put pressure, they got their strap bug up and just pretty much said, okay, we have our strap bug, we have the way that we want to play, and we will suppress your way of playing. So you will be forced to play the style that we want you. You're in the position where we want to have you, and we will lock you down in every given position. And that's all I can say. DLS with a very good start, with an insanely good flawless answer in their first defense, but after the first defense, it was locked on and dealt with from HMS. They just did not fall off their pace, did not fall off their presence, and they did not go down on their pressure, and the pressure was too high for DLS to take.
Absolutely. I mean, everything. I think you know what. This was very, very, very concise. I was. I would probably say this in a much less, well, smart way, but I would just probably say this. Um, Understand pressure as in any game. It's not about just R6 or something. I feel like pressure as a mechanic in the game. It's very much like gunplay. It's very much like strategy, knowing your operators and everything. Understand what kind of pressure you're putting onto the team. Yes, you have won 2 rounds in a row. What does that mean? What does a reset mean? Fine, you rehosted. Did that pressure vanish? No, it was still 2-0. What the hell happened, guys? Because you need to go back to the drawing board. This has to be something to do with I mean, in-game conversations, their IGL not really being on the same page with the team. There's so many things that were possibly going wrong, because the same place where DLS were, HMS, they relished in playing attack. In fact, I think they were better at attack than they were at defense, and that's saying
Yeah,
something.
definitely.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they lost momentum initially on the defense, then they got back into defense, and later when they started on offense, they were even performing much better, which is very statistically it's very unlikely. When you lose pressure so early and you switch into the other side, especially from the defensive to an attacking side, it's very difficult to adapt. But they just read them like a book. And I think that was because, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, DLS was playing attackers on defense. They're playing with
Yeah,
an attacker's mindset on defense, and it's just so weirdly aggressive while playing defensive attackers. You have a warden, but I mean, he's doing exactly what a warden's supposed to be, like not supposed to be doing necessarily. The vigil is
mm,
playing in it like a turtle. It's weird. It's not how it's supposed to all the way it's supposed to flow. And I don't know if I'm making much sense here, but it's like they were really out of the element. DLS got
yeah,
like kicked out of the game, as if, okay guys, you're playing the opposite roles, and they played offense on defense and defense on offense, and it just
yeah,
completely messed them up.
yeah, definitely. And the thing that we said about DLS had an insanely well start in the opening two first rounds. They put their pressure up and they got their playstyle on the board as they wanted to have it. And HMS had their struggles to figure out a way to answer and how they wanted to approach the playstyle that DLS brought to the table. But as soon as DLS then tried to slow back down, the biggest thing is that we called on DLS was they were not able to like adapt and also try to find new ways, like adjusting a little bit onto the playstyle that was granted or being played against by the teams of HMS. HMS, meanwhile, they got the two first rounds lost and they said, okay, guys, this is not working what we're doing. We have to adapt. They played a little bit more defensive, played a little very passive in the first 2 rounds, and gave DLS the opportunity to capitalize on those passiveness. Because DLS answered with approximately a lot of pace and a lot of pressure and just tried to like sneak out and like be cheeky, peeking one guy, and that's just pretty much trying to form you out of your given safe position to swing them out. And as soon as you swung them out, because they knew for a fact where you were positioned at, you got them on your board because they got the kill on you and you lost another round. As soon as we hit round number 3, the momentum changed, not only because of the rehost, it might also be late in that say, but more importantly, it is about HMS said, okay, our passiveness is not working. Okay, let's try something else. We tried to be a little more aggressive. We tried to put a little more pressure. We tried to put more pace onto them. And as soon as they did be a little more aggressive in their gunfights. They were searching for these gunfights, roaming around, trying to figure out ways. Where are these guys coming from? Where do they want to approach from? And we lock down those positions. We meet them up face up front, and we get those kills on the board. And they tried, they got it, and that way they turned the complete first half. And in the second half, it was only a matter of moments where you have to see, okay, we got one round that punished us because we wanted to be a little bit too cheeky, wanted to be too aggressive, and the guys of DLS fought us back.
Mhm. Oh,
Okay,
okay. Yeah.
but very important on that sake as well. DLS fell back. They were read like a book, as you mentioned, by the guys of HMS. HMS found their way, adapted. Very frankly, every single round when DLS tried to pick yet around who picked which operator, who did build up which like strategy, they tried to adapt a little bit and said, okay, our guys of Duskian and also I'm missing the other name. Heavens. They're picking up their pace. They're getting kills on the board. They're fast paced. They figure out where the guys are at, and we just send them through. try to support them. As soon as you saw Havens moving through with the Ash, he has a second and then also a third player already in the position of saying, okay, we've spotted out yet another roamer, and we will help you get this kill gone through. And that way you play together as a unit of 2. You have 1 to hold the back flank if the defender bails. And that's how you're supposed to play siege and attack. And they, as you mentioned, they played attackers in defense, and they were definitely playing hard attackers in attack themselves. They did not give them any grounds. They made the house their own, and they pretty much turned themselves from attackers into defenders because they owned the building and didn't give DLS any way to move around. But by that being said, we just got some information on our ears, and Nicholas, do you want to enlighten the guys what's happening now?
I'm sorry to announce, guys, that, well, the match, Yappers versus Team Freakret, which was going to happen, is not going to be happening. It's been cancelled. So this is going to be it for tonight. It's sad, I know. There's not going to be enough siege action to go on, but I think this was a pretty action-packed game, Mighty. I mean, I think this could... I'll sleep well after this one.
I'll definitely sleep well after this one myself as well. I definitely hope that we will have more appearances in the upcoming EON League and that we will have a lot more of these matches and hopefully some more closer matches as we're leading through the play days and also the match days in the near future. And by that being said, we all wish you a pleasant day here after EON League. Have a good one, and we see you in the next one. Bye-bye.